of course, I just told the Pac-12 network that these meets are always fun because it's less about their performance and more about beating somebody. And then as we move into the championship season, of course, it doesn't matter how fast you run, but the places and the positions that you get. So anytime we get a chance to beat some people and get a precursor and a practice meet to do that, that's always exciting. And some good overall performances for us as well. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Mac Fleet coming back and nipping Lowry there at the end, as well as Laura Racer, a nice little solo effort there. But the good thing about it is we're still working. We're still putting in the work every day, every week. And so for them to come out here and run those type times, I think whenever we get a chance to freshen up and sharpen up, we'll be looking for another drop.
You talked about Laura wanting to get Laura under 2 minutes this week. She still seemed to be pretty happy that she was able to get a 59 in that first lap. Can you just talk a little bit more about her performance?
Well, it was one of those things to where heading up to this, like yesterday, she was a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued, and so I cut a deal with her. I said that if you go out there and give it a great effort, then we'll take tomorrow off. She's probably been worked pretty hard this entire week, and so that was the compromise that we made. So she'll take tomorrow off, and then we'll get back at it again on Monday.
This is all about beating people. You collaborative. That'd be pretty exciting with a team score.
Yeah, and it's, you know, Fred is a competitor, just like everybody else is a competitor, and for him to come here and put his team on the line speaks a lot. You know, this is just one of the things that we like about this type of competition type of format. You know, you guys probably hear a lot about the dual meet this and the dual meets that, and scoring meets and scoring meets and scoring meets, and it's probably a good thing. However, it's probably the backwards way to go about things. And when I say the backwards way to go about things, until you can increase the scholarship part of these dual meet competitions, you end up having lulls and spots, because everybody and every coach has their own philosophy and they're going to put their money here or there. But you can see even in today's competition, as good as it was, there was definitely some holes in our team. And that has nothing to do with us as a team. It's just more so how you fund it. When you have 21 events in track and field and you have 12 scholarships, you're gonna have to do some type of walk-on type stuff, and that's gonna have a little bit of a lull in the caliber of performance there. And so it's just one of those things to where we like to continue to do the dual meet things, and we'll always continue to do them because I think it's a good precursor to the championship meets, because as far as beating people, but as far as high caliber competitions and the dual meets, I think it's a little bit backwards. I think if we push the issue of getting the scholarships, I think the dual meets will follow right after that, because you go to a competition and everybody has a good squad, and it'd be a lot more fortuitous for the crowd and the fans.
For Mac, what was the value in winning that race, even though those guys may be already in the late season?
The value is confidence. Anytime you get to race a guy like that and come out with a W is awesome. You know, I keep talking about Loy Lang is a superstar. He is just that. Like, you guys are going to hear that name for a long time coming, and for Mac to get a W against him is huge.
Skipper.
That's another one. Like, these guys are keep throwing these huge PRs and these lifetime bests, and it's probably not the time of the year, not the season for that. So that's gonna bode well for their preparation later in the year.
6 throws, 6 PRs.
Absolutely. You know, anytime you throw over 70 meters, that is huge. So Skipper's a great guy. He's a super great guy. And you know, I was talking to him early, and he was like, "Coach, my legs are a little wobbly right now." I was like, "Go out there and work your positions and your technique and go." And Coach Whitsett has a game plan, and he's definitely putting that into play right now, and you guys are seeing some of the fruits of that.
You talked about confidence with Mac beating Lowry. What about in the women's shuffle with Brittney winning, obviously against a competitor who's won 2 NCAA titles before?
Yeah, she's an Olympian for Canada. So once again, the same thing there. You know, everybody, of course, with the internet, everybody knows everybody's credentials and those type things. And so that was one of the things that we wanted to compete against Miss Labonte. To get a chance to pro against her, and the outcome of that is definitely favorable in our favor. However, for what it does to the psyche and the emotional and the self-esteem and the confidence of Brittney Man is huge. And not that she threw all that well today, she was a little off of her PR, but just to get a W. And that's the beauty of the dual meet.
How about Sarah? She's had so many injuries, and she even commented how important it was to win.
It's like you can never ever underestimate a win. Egos and psyche and all that becomes very fragile as we go along, because of course we're scrutinized by the clock and by the measuring tape. And so anytime you get those victories like that to actually win, that helps. That bodes as well as far as the next week and the next months of training. So definitely good for Sarah.
Thoughts on you guys from last night?
Say that again?
Thoughts just on you guys who competed last night?
Those guys up there. It was interesting how those three guys went up there and run, and then I guess it was a big hubbub or big to-do about them trying to go and break a meet record or set a really, really fast time. But I clearly said that the plan going up there was to qualify. And as you can see, they stuck together, they ran within a second of each other, and that's what it is. Like, there's no secrets or no grand schemes or plottings there. We said that's what we're going to do, and we went out and accomplished that.
But you like those times that they got?
Yeah, and the goal was there to qualify, and that's exactly what we did. So the qualifying was 29 something. I think they ran 28:51. So they're definitely within the qualifying for regionals.
Coach, you talked about increasing scholarships. Do you see movement towards that? Is that
No,
a realistic possibility?
It's one of the things that I think if we get enough people talking about that, I think it will definitely have some movements. But what we fail to realize, especially guys as young as me, and so you have to do a little bit of homework. But at one point in time, there were 20 some odd scholarships. I remember in the Bowerman days there were 40, and it's not only track and field. You can remember in football there was 120. So it's slowly but surely been a reduction as far as scholarships all across the board. So it's just not track and field. But I will say that, track and field probably bears the brunt of that a little bit. Even if you have still 85 scholarships in football, you only play 12 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. Yeah.
Coach, sorry for jumping in late.
No problem.
Have you talked about Sasha Wallace at all?
I did not talk about Sasha
She had a
Wallace.
busy day today. How do you think she held up?
She did well. I'm sure you asked that question because Sasha's going to be one of our world junior competitors here, and so for her to come out and run 13:33 is huge. Based on the work that she's done over the last 2 weeks to continue to run 13:30, there's going to be progress.
Definitely on her radar this year.
World Juniors is definitely on her radar, and not only on her radar, but our radar as well as far as setting up her training.
How do you do that with
Oh, gosh.
conference,
Yeah, it's very tricky in there. Usually we go to the NCAA meet and then count backwards from that. But for Sasha, she's going to have to hold on for about another 6 weeks, which is a really, really long time. Fortunately enough, she's super talented, so we're probably going to roll the dice a little bit and try some things that are probably not scientific in nature as far as trying to get her to hold on and continue to be able to run well there in July.
You good?
Thank you guys.
Thanks.